All right, welcome to the Paranormal Zone, where the truth and the paranormal meet. Where we talk about UFOs, big ghosts, paranormal, and anything related to the oddities of what's out there and what could bump into the night. Introduced by co-host Bob. Welcome.
Hey, I got.
Hi. And I want to introduce our guest today, Melissa.
Hi, everyone.
She's a psychic medium, and we've had psychic mediums on before. This is going to be an interesting show. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different things dealing with psychic mediums and every psychic medium that we've ever interviewed always has had a different way of doing things, which is what this world is all about, just like paranormal teams and UFO teams. Bob, quickly, they've just joined with the UFO part of the Essex County stuff. Why don't you let people know what's going on with the UFO stuff?
Well, as a lot of people know, we decided that with the activity that's going on with UFO sightings and UFO photos, certainly with government getting closer, but what's daily, of making some sort of an announcement, we think coming very shortly, within the next year. There seems to be a bigger need for us to have a local prints to really document reports. Sightings are becoming daily almost. Now, we also recognize what a UFO means, and that's identified flying object. So every UFO sighting is not little green man from outer space. But certainly there is a percentage of every sighting that can't be explained what that goal is. And I think, Tom, some of that is because of the satellite. So we wanted to open up a group that's kind of a Essex County Ghost Project. It's called Skywatch of New England. And we filled New Hampshire pretty quickly with Melissa and Jessy Jr., Joe, and myself. And since then, we've brought on Maine to follow up there to setting up a team. We brought on Pennsylvania. We've got a guy there, Fred Cola, that's setting up a team down there. We're about to bring on Texas. Our intent is to develop a database of information so that we can track what the similarities are. It's not meant to compete against fund in any way, shape, or form. But the business model we're looking at kind of follows the same thing. And Melissa, Jessy, and Jessy Joe will be fielding the data. So people in and say, I had a sighting, an observation, or an abduction for that. They're going to take a report on that, documenting any evidence that may be left over. And we'll then develop a database to start tracking for us in a database out of Massachusetts, we hope. We also have support groups for people that have benefited or even a sighting, an observation, visitation, or an abduction. If it's upset you and really need somebody to talk to that's experienced this before, we do have a group we can recommend you go to. Tom and I are very friendly with the gentleman that runs it. He's done a great job. He's been in the UFO field for 25 or 30 years. He had, visitations himself. So he's very compassionate and understanding. So he gives everyone that voice to help them on a support basis. So if you're interested in Joe, you're interested in giving us a report or anything like that, go to Paranormal NH at yahoo.com. You can remain anonymous in the beginning if you like. You don't have to tell me who you are, just where you are. But explain to me what's going on in the story, see if I can help you. We'll get an investigator out there if you choose to do that. So it's growing things. We're looking for recruits all the time to come on board. So again, Paranormal NH at yahoo.com.
All right. Well, thank you, Bob. Yeah, that's very exciting news, and we'll have more come about this in the upcoming episodes. just before we get started, I want to remind people that the festival is going on at the Buttonwoods Museum in Haverhill, 240 Water Street. So you meet this week, Wednesday through Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12 to 8, and then Friday to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, Sunday 11 to 5, and then next week's our final week. And we got Santa Claus and we got Senior Day coming up, so you can check that out on the Buttonwoods Festival Trees Facebook page. And Essex County Project does have a tree and a wreath in there, and so doesn't the Paranormal Zone. So, it's very well active. And so this week, though, I'd like to welcome Melissa. How are you doing, Melissa?
I'm good. How?
Good. We're doing very well. So you've been a psychic. Did you realize you had your psychic abilities?
When I was a little girl, about 5 or 6.
Yeah, that happens a lot at that age. And I think it happened to you. Most of the psychics I know. Well, let me get your answer, and then we'll go further into this.
I believe I have become so sensitive due to the tumultuous home I grew up in. You had to try and read my father's mood. Was going to make him sad day. Is he just going to be calm and go to bed? So I think I became very hyper aware of energies and vibrations and the slightest shift I feel now as an adult.
That's interesting because most of the psychics I've interviewed, well, there are maybe one or two exceptions that I know too. All came from tough homes, tumultuous homes, had a good upbringing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them said much the same thing you say. You kind of go into yourself.
Absolutely. I couldn't do anything to spit or protect anyone. Too little, so I absolutely would go into myself and be alone. And it made for a very scary childhood. I was scared a lot. I cried a lot. I didn't understand a lot of things.
And I think with that, even though it's we've discussed this on previous broadcasts, I know Bob is a go. I think a lot of that, you're sitting there going, so what happens is you go into, so you're opening your third eye. We all have a third eye. Mm. And Bob, I think we all could be psychics, but we have to open up the third eye. That's the key here. Right. And the way you do that is by meditating and focusing. But if you have, when you're in your third, you have the problems we have when we're like, me, 84 years old, being 34, Bob, and these two being 6 years old over here. We don't have the problems that, you have 4 or 5 for the most. I mean, if you're Toronto's household, you're going to have issues. And then that's where a lot of these people who have abilities come from. Once in a while, though, you'll have to be born with it. And they're born with it too. But they live in what we call the near perfect household, because I don't think there's a such thing as perfect household. I always laugh when my friends in college told me they grew up in the perfect house. It was quite comical. And I've met a few paranormal investigators and scientists who grew up in the perfect household that don't understand where their abilities come from. It's a little bit hard to explain. I can't. But from the research I've done, the Russells, the tumultuous households, because you go into yourself, it's the only way you can protect yourself, really. It's sad. It opens your mind up to a whole different world.
It really does.
Bob, you have any quick questions?
Yeah, I always ask this question because I think it's interesting how families, because I agree with Melissa, I think that when you have a gift like this, it really needs the support, especially at young ages, because you don't understand it. But I guess the question is, did your family accept this fact you had this?
I never spoke about it when I was younger until I would say around 14, 15 years old, and then weird things were happening in my home, like the water faucets that would turn on full blast. We started discussing it more, and that's when I, kind of my mom things that I felt saw, and then she's told me things she's felt or saw. And she tells me things she sees and feels and
Yeah. Oh, did you have the gift?
absolutely don't think she knew what it was.
Yeah. It goes back to your mom. I'm sure it's even harder to come out.
Exactly.
I back to religion. I think religion has stifled a lot of this stuff, especially in people my age, because I grew up the day of religion. You had to go to church every Sunday whether you want or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the teachings of most religion didn't buy into mediums, didn't buy into ghosts and spirits, and so you were conditioned to not believe in that stuff. And I wonder if that's why a lot of us don't have that, because we were conditioned at such a young age that those things didn't exist. Or in fact,
it was the devil.
They try to say it was
Yeah,
evil.
exactly. They would have. And the funny part is, I don't know about me, but I do know a lot of light worker mediums, whatever have you. We actually use the angels and Jesus and me and all of in our work. So it's funny that they would be evil.
Yeah, no, it's always interesting. You know what? I've always found it interesting, Bob, when we do library talks. Okay. And you have that instigator in the call it. Okay. I had one in Lawrence like that. I wasn't involved with Hellcat at the time, but I was in Lawrence Heritage State Park, just doing paranormal talking.
Sure.
To the public free of charge. Come on down.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat, I'm sitting there getting coffee beforehand. A couple of donut holes. I'm all set up. It's just talking to people for the talk.
Sure.
And this couple goes, well, are you sure you know what you're talking about? We go, well, there's trouble on the horizon. With this. And then they saw the TV cameras. Oops. So now they're gonna make the paranormal theater look like a fool on TV.
Oh, absolutely.
But they don't know that's not being taped live. So if I didn't really want footage out there afterwards, they just
pull it.
They pull it.
Right.
Not a big deal. So we're talking about how I move spirit along in a house. And the guy goes to me. He says, yes, sir. He goes, I don't know how you can move spirits in houses. He says, why is that a good question? He goes, the only people allowed to move spirits can do that are Catholic priests.
That's not true.
I said, well, that's your opinion. I respect your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion. I go, because lay people that do that, probably that have been recognized Warrens.
Yes.
But if we go back thousands of years, there were people doing demonology.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Of spirit long before, and they weren't Catholic, Protestant.
The Aztecs, because the Mayans.
Yeah, they had their own religion. They had their own beliefs. And the Native Americans have their own belief. So, I mean, I always found that interesting. You always get one crowd.
I have zero desire to explain myself to anyone like that. I'll just move on with my time. Now, if you genuinely want to know, I'll tell you what I've learned, felt, and seen. But to be a heckler, I'll just walk away.
Yeah, that's because the next question they asked me was, what's your religion? And I looked at them and said, well, religion really is a bigger question, because if I go in a house and they're not Catholic, like holy water, you might as well just take a water gun and just pour it
exactly.
around.
You're absolutely right.
If you're a Native American and you're throwing holy water, it's going to let the spirit's going to let you use the back. If you're Jewish and you're trying to use something like sage, that's not going to work. It might make your house smell pretty at the end of the day, but it's not going to take care of the situation.
Exactly.
So you have to have a background in religions and risk everybody's belief, because it's a belief that works.
Absolutely.
If you go cleanse out a house, it's the same thing. If the people don't believe, you can cleanse a house and you leave it, they're going to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. But isn't religion pretty much the same thing? It's belief without evidence. I mean,
it is.
I'm sure, but I don't know too many people have actually met God yet, and can tell you that.
Right.
You're as a child, you can condition to believe that religion and you follow it. So why would be close-minded to spirits and go and UFOs for that matter? Right back in Christopher Columbus' day, everybody really believed the world flat.
That is true.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I knew it's going to happen again.
Hold on a minute, Bob. There we go. We're back. No stopping. Green went black. No big deal. Sometimes it does.
Yeah, back in 1947, nobody landed on the moon. So you have to be open to it. But I guess my question to both of you are, why doesn't everybody have that ability? I mean,
they do.
Nothing would please me more than be able to talk to my wife again. Okay, and listen, everybody's people in their lives. I'm not unique, but and everybody would like to do that. But why is it everybody doesn't have the ability, Melissa? Why aren't we given ability at 5, 6 years old?
I think a lot of times we do into this life with that ability, but it gets stuffed down, pushed back to the side. And I also believe that younger souls don't understand it fully. They're very close-minded. So you could, but with training, the right training, anyone can do it.
Yeah, you just got to be to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't help when you have, especially in society we live today, where the kids go to school and talk about it because they're going to be ridiculed by their classmates peers, and eventually the kid gets harassed by something like Department of Child Social Services because some school teacher decides, it's not the way I was raised. I don't believe in seeing ghosts. These kids are talking. They must have problems at home. No, lady or guy, there's no problems at home. These kids just have gift abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And then the family dealt with dealing with. So it's easy to tell the kid, don't talk about it, or this could happen. And
Absolutely.
Bad people will take you away, and it scares the kids to shut right down. And that's happened a lot.
We just did a show on witches a month or so ago, and we talked about witches were identified times with mental illness way back then, and how many witches might have been medium back then that nobody's ever even talked about.
That's a good point.
They were obviously crucified, if you want to know the truth, because they're different than other people.
I think some of them were herbalists too, and healers. Yes. Okay. So I don't even know that much about. Say I know a little bit about Salem, but not much. But what I'm picking up for energy is that they didn't understand medicine, healing ailment back then, and here comes somebody with a vast knowledge in herbs and all of that, helping heal the people. To them, it was free.
Right, because it went in against the church.
One of the lessons we took out of the two witches that we've had on so far is that the witchcraft today is really a religion. I mean, the difference is they worship nature.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, same with the natives did. I mean, natives believe every rock, tree, creature had a spirit of its own. Natives hunted the animals, killed for food, would pray to the moose god, the deer god. When they fished, they would pray to whatever fish they caught. They needed rain, pray to the rain god. So they had a belief system too. We all have a belief system.
And I think they're intertwined, to be honest with you.
I agree with you on that one. I was raised a Catholic.
Nature as well.
I was raised a Catholic. Went to church Sunday. Didn't learn much.
I was raised Caswell.
Yeah, didn't learn much. I mean, the best priest I ever had, I'll be honest with you, and I even forgot his name. He was over at Mount Carmel in Phil, and he was a Korean war vet. He was also married before.
Oh, wow.
So he's the life.
Yeah, he did.
He was married. Then after whatever happened, and I think the wife must have passed away, he decided to go into religion. And he was a lot old guy, and he always said, in life, you have to watch the banister. You don't want to slide down the Bristol life the wrong way because you could get hurt. I mean,
you don't want to slide the banners.
right. You want to make sure the wood chips are in the right direction, basically. I mean, that made a lot of sense to me. That made more sense than look at half the along, go to church for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to the priest speak, or even an hour and a half, because especially whenever these guys, some priests get on there.
It's torturous.
I mean, an hour sermon to deal with, with a long mass. You're spending 45 minutes listening to the sermon that you're 7 years old going.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an interesting childhood. I don't know you. I mean, you can say whatever you want. If you don't want to say, you don't have to. I was forced to go to church every Sunday. My father was a Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
My mother went to church. My grandfather, who was one of my actors,
mm-hmm.
a Jehovah's Witness.
Isn't that something?
So, and no disrespect to religion, but I learned a lot of different things.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and there's that's difference between both those religions.
Huge difference.
I mean, you learn a lot, and that's what we're all here to do. We're here to educate and try to help people, and you do that every day,
right? I do, and it just comes up in the most unexpected times.
Oh, that does. I agree with you. I mean, now, can you just sense them, feel them, or you know it too?
So I can sense them, feel that. Sometimes they're strong. I see them, and sometimes it's just imagery, messages that it made that they will pass along.
That's so you much cover the whole realm of it then.
Not on purpose.
No.
However they choose to
Right.
cross and show me whatever is.
Right.
It's different. Like when I met Bob, was a knowing that was put into my head. I don't know how I knew it. I just knew it to be true.
Now, Bob, why don't you explain to the listeners, because we had some very difficulties last time.
Yeah.
So let's try this again.
So for our listeners, we were doing an investigation a few months ago at the sit-down train depot, and there happened to be a train car there as part of the whole process. And it was on the train car. Melissa and Jessy and Jessy came on, and Melissa gave me a message from my wife, who passed a year ago, September. Again, it was very moving for me at the time, because it was so accurate. There's no way that she could have known what she told me. And to me, that's how I think everybody judge medium, frankly. Mediums, most of them, maybe all of them, most of them are honest people that have a gift that this is the way to. Sometimes they don't know, in the younger listen, they really don't want the gift, but the gift is there.
Yeah.
And I admire people like you because you accept a gift wherever it's coming from, and you develop it into something. And I think that's just miraculous, frankly. But again, I think that mediums, to me, really work hard at what they do. You can't control when somebody comes through. I still wonder why my wife came through to you, complete stranger. I had never met you before then. We had no idea of each other, right?
Had no clue.
She picked you because you were going to be there that night.
Mm-hmm. She did.
And as hard as I look at it, she didn't come through to me. Now, I'm not going to blow out our listeners the thing that occurred since I've lost her. But we've had, as a family, both my daughter, Melissa, experienced multiple times that we know that she came back to us and and did something for us, okay?
Right.
But we never verbally talked to her. You know, so it's interesting to me to figure out, how do I get to the stage?
I'm learning that they give you what you need, not what you want. So you're looking for direct verbal communication, and you're not getting. Ask her to communicate with you in a way you understand. You've told me a couple of the stories happened, and no doubt about it, that's her at work on the other side, but she's not strong enough to verbally communicate. Showed me pictures.
Yeah, you talk about energy.
Mm-hmm.
I believe energy is a form of communication.
Absolutely.
I don't think we've done enough to understand energy.
I don't know if we ever will.
I think the PhD is just not, deep dive into what energy is all about. I agree with you, Melissa, that it's the energy that we all have. We either develop that and open it up to things like this, or we don't. And I think the majority of us don't, unfortunately.
I sit down for a while.
I can hear her in my head all the time.
That's her. That's her communicating right there.
Yeah, I'll be trying to work something out, and I hear her say to me, "Don't do that. Why would we do that?"
There you go. You're getting your communication, Jen.
You're famous to me. Why would you do that? So I agree. I think that I would love to develop that gift if I had time. Frankly, I don't think it's an age thing, by the way. I think
no, it's definitely not.
Understand that you start this at any time.
Correct.
If you want to learn, you can go to people that train.
Absolutely. Right? There's some great mentors out there.
Right, and all you got to do is keep an open mind. Even if you just keep an open mind, and that's the most important thing. Open mind and focus. Open mind and focus. Focus is on the moment.
We're entering an era, in my opinion, in the next 10 years, but I think we're into it now, where discovery is the front runner here. I think people have opened up everything.
I think it's getting there.
With even younger generations, I'm in high school and college levels, youth is starting to open up to understanding that the world isn't just what we live in. It's way beyond that.
Way beyond.
Yeah, it goes through the space and everywhere else, space and time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes to dimensions that none of us understand. I do. And I believe in string theory really strongly. There is dimensions there that are I question, frankly, so, and I don't know if you've ever deep dived into this question, but I wonder what behind it all is. It religion? Is it a higher being?
The source energy. It's the source.
Or is it something that is totally different? Is it? I got to say it on the air. Or is it alien based?
I think for certain it can be.
Another civilization.
I wish I knew all those answers. I really do. I think for each individual, it's something completely different. I do think there are those out there that it is alien based, and that's not me. And the only reason I know that is because I asked the question. I asked him while I was meditating, and I got, that is not for you, not in this lifetime. It's happening. You're not going there.
Wow.
So I think mine is religion.
Meditation can actually communicate.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what I see through meditation.
Yeah, meditation opens up the world to a whole different
huge
opening up, and it's tough to meditate with a lot of things on your mind.
It is. It is. It's hard to shut down.
Focusing and shut down, and trying to focus your energies. Well, you go to that safe space and you try to focus, and you can focus a little bit. But if your mind is just constantly going,
Absolutely.
It's royal hot shut down.
Extremely.
It's ridiculous. It really can be ridiculous to shut your mind down. Now, you said earlier, your abilities you think came from your mom's side.
I do. I believe they came from my mom's.
Now, how many generations have you figured that back?
Only my grandmother's. I don't know how much further it goes.
Okay.
But I don't know much. I know nothing of grandfather's side at all. I only know my great-grandparents. And I'm not sure if my great-grandmother, I'm not sure about. I'd have to ask my mom.
That's interesting. It goes back at least to your mom and wherever from there.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting. Because sometimes it's one side, and in my case, both sides of the family happen too. So, I mean, it is understandable that can happen. Said earlier, we're talking, you said you have a guide with you, Michael.
Yes.
Now, it's not the Archangel Michael.
No, the Archangel.
So explain who
but
Michael
I work with him too, though. So I want to say I was about 14, 15 years old, and Sylvia Brown was all over the radio. It was on Montel Jordan, and I became obsessed. And I went and bought books. And one of was her teaching you how to meditate to discover who your spirit guides are. And it took me months. Nothing was happening, but I stuck with it. And then all of a sudden, here's this Michael. He's sitting under this very, it reminds me of a, like an umbrella, what are those called? Weeping willows. It reminds me of one of those. And around him is like tall grass, and he's just sitting under the tree. He has long hair, beard, mustache, and he's whittling wood. He's carved characters and stuff out of this wood. And there he was, and I just started talking to him, and holy crap, he answered me. And I was, and then of course the whole time I was like, am I making this up? Am I hearing things? And he's been my one constant guide since I've started this.
And he was a soldier, you said, correct?
No, I don't know if he was a soldier. I was a soldier in a previous life. Yes.
So, and found that out how?
When I was about 9 or 10, I had this reoccurring dream for months and about being in a war. I knew it was North versus South Civil War. I was shot 3 times in the back, went down. I was surrounded by fellow soldiers, and they were burying me in a cemetery on a hill underneath a tree. And right before you throw the dirt down, watching from above, I would wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened every night for me. It was wild. It was so vivid. It was too detailed. I could feel the pain from the gunshots in my back.
Wow.
And that happened on cemetery, you said.
So it was a cemetery hill,
yeah.
And there was a tree right on the hill, and they buried me right under it, right on top of the hill.
And the only cemetery hill.
Did you get a name?
No, I did not get a name. I just knew I was a male soldier, and I was African American.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's pretty telling.
I remember looking down at my hands in the dream. They were black.
No, that is very, very telling. Because there weren't many black regiments at all. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're few for the North, but there weren't many as you think. It goes.
Right.
That's interesting. And what you're talking about was Pickett's church.
Okay.
And that was one of the bloodiest days of
I got the chill in my whole body. I want to go down there so to see what I feel and pick up on from that life. I love to do like a mini vacation with him. Doing that.
Yeah. You talk Gettysburg?
Yes.
We're out of our country to be free. So,
mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's
I've been to Gettysburg a couple of times. And you go out to that battlefield. And again, it comes down to are you open to it or not. But when you go out to that battlefield and you stand there and look out, it's an amazing feeling that you get of just how how much sucking, I guess, went on between brother and mother and sister in the war. But somebody like yourself is open to that energy. I'm convinced that you would absolutely make contact with something.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can feel the presence of the deceased out there.
Wow.
You know? And when you stand, I mean, think about it's such a great feeling to stand in the same place that took place. I mean, you're not looking at it on TV, looking at it through a glass window. You're standing right on the same field that people lost their lives.
Yeah, no, that's a very powerful explanation of that.
Yeah.
And so you have you ever had past life regression?
I have.
And did you find Civil War soldier?
No, I actually found, I was hoping to go to that one and learn about it, but it was actually my recent previous life is what I discovered.
And what you don't mind
the
asking?
Early 1900s in the 20s, was right around.
So right around time of depression.
Mm-hmm.
So what, if you don't mind mentioning, what you discover?
So I was, how to explain this? So I had two sisters, and my mother was passed away. We lived on a farm, and one day the gentleman came calling for me, and it happens to be who my husband is now. He looked very, very different in life. We both looked different in that life, and I left with him. We got married, and did we have one? I can't remember.
Two.
I think it's two as well. Well, two boys, and
Was your actual brother?
That's right. And he was very abusive. Jesse was very, very abusive in that life, and I didn't live long. Neither did my kids.
Well, that's sad.
It wasn't what I was expecting to find. That's for sure.
Well,
but that's what they say. You come. Each life is just to learn a lesson or to evolve to become a better person, and we change roles, if you will, in each life, whether it be the villain and the good guy, bad guy type of thing.
Well, when I did life regression, I found out my ex-wife, one of my protectors, now actually killed me. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yes.
So, do you think? So, here's a question. This was mentioned. We discussed this a little earlier before we had the ghost in the machine. Do you believe once we die, we're done?
No, absolutely not. This is just the beginning.
Exactly. I believe we move on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes not too far down the road either.
Absolutely. I think each individual, it depends on them and their soul, spirit, wherever they are in their life. But yes, not the end.
No, it's the end of one life.
Exactly. Exactly. We shed our vessel. That's it. Our soul's still there.
And we know for a fact the soul only weighs 21 grams.
We know that?
I'm just kidding. There was a doctor called Dr. Duncan McDougall from here.
Oh, geez.
That actually got people who were dying of tuberculosis, who couldn't afford proper burials, told the family he would proper burial, which he did, cremated them and buried them. And he did that to the soul. Because he believed you lost weight when you died, and that was your soul.
Really?
It's been disproven, and Dr. Duncan McDougall didn't last long because guess where he came from?
TB.
TB. But that there was a movie called 21 Grams.
I'm going to have to look for that.
Make sure it's the one on the soul, because there's another one called 21 Grams.
I'm pretty sure I've already done that one.
So it's called Dr. Duncan McDougall is the guy's name.
Interesting.
So yeah, I firmly do believe we just change.
His deja vu of about past life experiences, Tom?
I would say it. How about you?
I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think it's recognition of a person or place from a previous time.
When we do presentations, this always comes up. And when you ask how many people in the room have had a deja-vu experience, and an experience, something you were there, but you never traveled to that place. Almost everyone in the room raises their hand. That can't be a coincidence.
Absolutely.
No.
Not too many, quality tests like that. So to me, a deja vu happened, and I do have it happen. It's very real to me. I mean, extremely strong. So, but I've had other people tell me the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it had to happen somehow. I'm not sure how. I just don't know.
I think in our dreams as well, they're travelers, and they don't even know that they're traveling, and they visit these places in their dream, and that's another way to explain the deja vu.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, deja vu is interesting. I'm not done yet with my past life regression.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of us will be, because it takes a beat out of you. You got to go back.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I look at, I think in November, Thanksgiving, obviously. But there's another day I wasn't even. Yeah, I might be old, but I don't remember that. Oh, wait a minute, I'm only 48. Darn it, I messed up my age. I always do that. I don't know how I do that. But when I've seen pictures of Daily Plaza, and we all know what happened in Daily Plaza in November '3.
Well, I was born in 81, so I don't even know the name of the plaza. I just know it was Texas.
Yeah. Every time I see pictures
on the grassy knoll.
Yeah. Every time I see pictures of Daily Plaza, I was it. I've never been out of New England.
That's amazing. You probably were.
And that's the next step. That's the next step of that process, trying to figure that out, because it's always interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Tom,
yeah.
You have siblings.
I do.
Yeah, and Melissa, do you have siblings?
I have a brother.
Okay. So do any of your siblings have the gift of...
My brother senses things. He'll tell he senses things, but he's too scared of it to do anything else.
Okay. So he's sensitive.
Yeah.
He has his extent. What about you, Tom? Is your siblings?
No. I got one that said that it's got to be black or white.
Oh, yes, a very scientific mind.
I don't mean, and he's a piece of Pete. He's not, a doc. He's a physical therapist, but he is a doctor in physical therapy. And my other brother just never believed. So I'm the only one that ended up with disability. In my immediate household, but I do have cousins on both sides of the family, that hear things, see things, and call them every so often. So I know I have it on both of my family. But you're not open to it. Don't believe in it. And you're obviously a doctor to everything, no matter if you're a doctor of science, a doctor of psychology, a doctor of anything. It's all got to be white. And that just automatically, just the way you're trained as a doctor, all schooling hours, and they went. My brother's kid at PT and doctors and PT went to school forever. I went to school 4 years ago. I think did the 10-year process, if not longer.
Wow.
So everything's black and white with them. So it makes it difficult. So you got your mom, you, and your brother. Your brothers are free.
Yes.
Now, is he older or younger?
Older.
So he must have had a real bad experience, kid that just made him scared.
I'm wondering, he's never really told me about the scary experience. I think he's just afraid of what he can't see.
Now, does he have any kids?
Two girls.
Do you heard anything from your
I have not.
I
have not.
How about your?
Yes.
it does move on.
Absolutely. But I recognized what they were doing when they were little, and I didn't shut them down.
Right.
You know what I mean? I let them explore that and taught them how to protect themselves.
That's the best way.
They were like 2 years old when they started.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't mind me asking you, if you speak up enough, if you don't ask any questions you don't want to. Any on your side, Emily? What abilities? Or you?
Me,
You.
Yes.
I'm sensitive. I'm not medium, but I am sensitive.
Now, how about parents? So you don't even know
No.
where it came from at the point.
No, just I lived in haunted houses. So that.
Oh, okay. So from the area?
Yeah, from Manchester.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a very interesting. We've had a college we did out there, Bob, was very interesting. Right near the waterfalls of the Merrimack River. Let's see, I did a couple homes on the Tree Street. That's a real interesting area.
It's the old houses there.
The streets of the birds.
It's trees.
Trees.
Tree Streets, yeah. That was real interesting. I have to say. The energy in the neighborhood over there was interesting to begin with. It's a beautiful side of Manchester, Bob. I'd do during the daytime if I were you. Don't go there at night. I don't think it's as friendly late at night. Not talking about spirits either. That was probably one of the more interesting houses. So I had a single mother with like 8 kids. And a 21-year-old niece living there that was out of her house. And Mom went through a lot of relationships.
Oh.
So the energy's in
A lot of energy. That's a lot of energies coming and going.
Originally, she didn't want to call us in as a 6 count because we were too far away. I'm based out of Methuen. Wow, that's far, right?
Yeah.
So they found a team. Yeah, west of Manchester. We'll leave it at that. And they brought their meters in. Bob's favorite toilet cable meter.
Mm-hmm.
Asked if there were any demons in the house.
Oh, geez.
She gave off the energy. There might be demons in the house.
Oh, man.
So the K2 meter floor and asked if there was demons. It lit up. They went, there's nothing we can do about this, but we know somebody you pay to get rid of demons. Now, a single mother with that many kids.
Seriously. She is. No.
Lucky they're making rent. Well, this was pre-COVID, so the one is crazy. But they were crazy back pre-COVID as they are today. It's ridiculous. So they go, we're going to put the couch over to protect you from demon. I'm thinking, right. So she called up panting. I have a 24-hour return policy, which will get somebody to your house if it's that bad in less than 24 hours. Might not be the full team. It might not be a full investigation, but we're coming up to see what's going on.
Okay.
So we go. Boom, boom, boom. Where's the demon? Oh, it's under the...
I'm sorry.
So my former tech guy and myself, we moved the couch. We'll move the couch much back for you. Put the K2 meter down, started asking it out. I said, "Your basement? Yeah, there's a basement."
Yeah.
When I said, now I'm going to the basement. I said to the former tech guy and the other guy, my other investigator was there. Slam your foot in the floor so I can hear where we're at. Right?
Huh?
So we did. Boy, what a demon. I went back upstairs. I said, is there a demon here? Lit up. Is the Tooth Fairy here? It lit up. Is Santa Claus here? It lit up.
You had a jitter.
Now, why did it light up? No, there was spirits in the house, but there was no demon.
You had a jokester spirit.
Well, I mean, 8 kids, so you got 3 demons out of the 8 kids.
So, in the basement, you know those old pull chain lights?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen them?
Yeah.
It's from our generation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There was one there without the pull string on it and a live wire right over the floor. You put the K2 on it.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's the tooth, because I wanted to get the lion who was petrified.
Get her feeling more comfortable.
Yeah, were there spirits in the house? There were. We picked up residual and nothing that's gonna hurt anybody.
Mm-hmm.
One smart entity that just there protecting her kids.
It's good.
And it was a good kid.
Nice.
But I called it because some team said
It was a demon.
It was a-
I didn't even bother going in the front, huh?
to go check the electromagnetic fields. Now, how do you do? I mean, I'm very, very sensitive. How are you with electromagnetic fields if a house has got high EMF? Have you?
I'll get nauseous. I'll get vertigo. I'll get, I'll even stumble if it's too high.
So you're a human walking EMF reader. Too.
Oh, yeah, I can feel it. But I like, little toys to validate what I'm feeling.
That's what's great in the paranormal. That's what we do. And Bob's done the same. We use the psychics to help us locate. You use the tools to validate, and then you know what you're dealing with.
Exactly.
You could go, is there a spirit here? No psychic in the room, and all of a sudden, I put it too close to an old light switch.
Right.
Well, may not be grounded too safely.
Exactly.
And oops, you got your mess on your hands, and it's really, really not paranormal. It's electrical.
Exactly.
Oops. So it's always good, have the equipment to validate what the psychics are picking up. And that's what we try to do with all our clients.
I will say it definitely scared me, and still sometimes does. But I didn't know how to protect myself against negative energies, like I do now. So I'm definitely not as scared. We stayed in Key West. It was probably one of the most haunted places I've ever been in my life. It was unreal what was happening there. And I guess I can say it chose me. I don't have a choice. Like, I've tried to turn it off.
No, when you
it
have
doesn't
those
work like that.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't stop.
Now, you said, sir, you grew up in a haunted house. Is that correct? In the area, too? Same.
It's near the trees.
Not
the streets.
Not far.
That was like a 200-year-old house, though.
Yeah. That's interesting because for another time you heard me say this, and the Sam Wyndham Dairy Triangle.
Yes.
It's in the same area that those houses are located off of Tree Street. And did you grow up in a haunted house?
I just felt that the energies. I don't know if they were old. I could feel watching me. I don't know what they were. I just know I was very afraid of them as old. Very afraid.
If you don't have to answer this. Do you live in a haunted house now? Oh,
absolutely. Okay. The original May stays in the basement, but he's not mean. He just does his thing. Doesn't bother anyone.
Yeah, it's an old house.
What is it? 130? Yeah. 130 years old.
Wow. So that's a nice old house.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with
Old
that.
New Englander.
Oh, that's even better. And he's probably stuck in the house for a few reasons.
He likes it there.
Well, he likes it there. I was involved in the historic end of this. We never went to investigate this house. Up in Exeter, New Hampshire. It Falls, actually, right on the line. There was this green home. And I was working in Exeter 15 years, and every year up for sale after the original.
Really?
And I get bored, so I volunteering when I had to work up there at a lunch and dinner place, sub shop type of deal. And that friends of mine owned it, helping them out for years. But I get early because I drop my mother off work, and then I have nothing to do after breakfast. So I found the Hampton Falls Historical Society opened on Tuesday mornings. Well, that's a place because I volunteer in Advocate Museums. So
right.
Cool. I go there one day, and a lady goes, "You ain't about ley lines and the people that help them volunteer. They're looking at. I'll handle this." So talk about the house. They didn't know why the house was haunted. So we pulled the deed.
Oh, okay.
They found the copy of the deed at the Hampton Falls Historical Society. Find out the deed says the house is supposed to stay in the family in perpetuity. Oh.
With the same way?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And guess what was signed by?
Blood. Oh, you're
That's
kidding.
The big dot on the deed.
Oh.
And the guy died in December. So where do you think they buried the guy? There's only two places you're going to bury in December. Where's that?
The crawl space.
The crawl space basement.
Mhm.
The house behind there was the barn, and that lady had there, so he was either buried in the barn or the house.
Yeah, he was not happy.
No, and 12, 13 generations later, they sold the house.
Oh, he's
And
not happy.
First, when they sold the house, they did it the way they do it.
Mhm.
They took the back land, sold it to the developer, kept the front house, and sold the house separately from the back land.
Oh,
So you divide up the property.
yeah, you got one pissed off spirit.
Now, exactly. Yeah, you got one guy going, I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we deal with a lot of times.
That's crazy.
And in old New England, I love reading old journal. Josiah Smith is buried 20 feet from the barn, the corner of the barn, under the old willow tree. He died in 1760. You honestly think we're going to find the willow tree in the barn today?
No.
Probably not.
Mm-mm.
And there's probably not much left of Mr. Josiah anyhow.
Oh, no.
But we don't know where people were buried
maybe
in their own backyards.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's the other thing we do in New England.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then mill factories, it's like here in historic Lawrence, haunted Lawrence.
I just went into a mill factory actually about 3 weekends ago now. My client, the mill across from CC that they turned into apartments.
In Manchester.
Yeah, in Manchester.
I'm not familiar with CMC.
Catholic Medical Center.
Oh, Catholic Medical. Okay, got it.
Right across the street from there's a big mill. And I went in there and you feel it. You could feel the energy of the workers still.
Right.
I mean, obviously it was all remnant and residual, if you will, but you could feel it all. It was amazing. I wasn't expecting that.
No, we had that a long times in Town Havel where we had residual energy from the old ones. Because a lot of people, their lives in the mills.
Yes.
You got scalped women, hair get stuck. That was not an easy life to be working.
And they had kids running around, having incidents.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great grandparents, great uncles of mine, grandparents of mine on both sides worked the mills.
Wow.
Were kids.
His grandmother worked in the shoe mill in Manchester. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, mill life was not at all. Yes, you'd have a lot of residual energy in mills, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're turning them into house, which is good. I mean, you need to do something with them. You don't want them, empty, vacant for trouble, all that other jazz, and then they got on fire and light the whole neighborhood purely because it caught a fire and wanted to keep warm in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good to turn that into
Absolutely.
housing. And that's the best thing to do. First floor business, second floor, third floor housing units.
That's exactly what they're doing. And
it's happening all over, which is a good thing.
I'm mad about it.
Condos.
They do.
Right.
They make full apartments, those mill buildings. They really do.
Mm-hmm. And it gets people off the beats, gets them in this housing, and then maybe they move off the haunted section of Manchester, less the electricity. Could not believe the energy in that neighborhood when I went there. Whoa! Put the brakes on.
I feel every time I'm at Elm Street, the old house, I can just feel the energy from the past and like just going down the street and really cool.
Bob, any other questions we got? No. I would close the program by saying that Melissa and Jessy Jr. are huge additions to the team. I'm like Tom. I've done hundreds and hundreds of home investigations and never gone in without a medium, because I tell anybody out there that's putting a team together, the medium is just such an important part of an investigation, because again, we use equipment to communicate, and you people use actually energy and voice. Mm-hmm. So it's to me, you shouldn't do an investigation unless you have a meeting with you. This
Correct.
is a great program, and just so excited about working with you guys. I think it's going to be a great team. Frankly, my co-host is one of the best paranormal investigators. They say New England. I think it's a little further out. I'll settle for New England.
Thanks, Bob.
Oh, I'd love
He's
to.
done it for years. He's very passionate, but on top of that, he's probably one of the best in the field today. So we're fortunate to have the team we have. I look forward to the spring, not only to get rid of the snow, but to start working together and be educating listeners to what goes on, because it's so important to me to understand the truth about opposed UAPs, ghost spirits. What we've been doing this for 20 years. I think the truth will eventually be told. I do. I think that generations to come will move what's going on with spirit and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they build what we do as a team today to carry forward at least the foundation to get out there and do it. So, listen, Jessy, and no Jesse Jr. is not here, but let me just tell both of you did a great job representing him.
Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to working with him because we don't get a chance to work with the youth of today. We don't see a lot of younger people involved in this, and maybe that's our fault because we haven't stepped out to the youth. Maybe need to figure out how to get presentations to high schools and stuff.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to working with him.
He's very excited.
And years ago, I did have an Essex County Junior Division, which I plan on starting back up eventually. I mean,
well, listen, what we're going to have to plan, the first good day in the spring, we'll get up to just the team this time and be the meeting house storm. But just our case.
In Sandown, that one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Critical hours up there. I think that you guys love it. If you like the training station, the meeting house is really the premier spot to go.
Really?
I think with everybody, almost a spiritual experience for me to be there. They have on many occasions up there at night, by myself for an hour or two and just sat. And it's just an amazing feeling. Be there alone, and you're not alone.
Yeah.
And I leave there just so energized and just so at peace with myself. So I wouldn't do it year round, but it's very cold there. There's no heat or anything. So
well,
really
there's no bathrooms. Oh, they got a big set line of house back, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You can't
I
even
look forward to that.
Yeah.
That's all there is.
And then we'll go all
The program tonight,
yeah.
Thank you.
You did a great job. Listen, thank you so much, Jenny. You took the code because you did come on the radio.
Good.
Yeah, he did. So now you were kept.
Yes.
You can put on your resume. You were kept.
All
There you go.
right. I want to thank.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
Bob. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here in the United States, Canada, Russia, England, across the Great Lakes, and wherever else you're listening. Our friends out in Michigan and Pennsylvania, please be safe because there's a little snow out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Next week, Bob, what are we going on next week?
Yeah, next week's going to be a great program. We're bringing on an individual that does crystals.
I love it.
Yeah, it's going to educate the crystals. All the crystals, what they do, what they mean, how you use them. So we're all excited. She's a local individual
That's
right here
awesome.
from New Hampshire. So we're excited about having her.
I'm very excited. She's very knowledgeable. I've had her at a few events throughout the year. She is very knowledgeable. It's going to be a fun time.
I love my
and you're going to learn a lot about crystals. She's probably the foremost expert in New England on crystals.
That's awesome. I'll have attention to that one.
We'll send that to you too. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Just remember this weekend's Festival of Little Trees at the Bones Museum. Thank everybody. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Good
night.
We'll see you soon in the paranormal night.